Hey, everybody. It is Tuesday. It's from the barracks, and we're back on all social medias. Yay! I can now stream to Facebook. I never thought I'd be so happy about that. Um, I'm Joker for Players Wanted. With me is the man with the mohawk, the king of the high kappas, Virchew from Crucible. Down below, I'm sorry, guys. Why can't I do this without screwing it up something up? Is Ian from Bad Blood series, Gentleman's Son in New York Airsoft, right?
NYC Airsoft, yeah.
NYC Airsoft. Take it. NYC Airsoft. Thank you guys for coming on. We're going to talk a lot about Bad Blood tonight. I don't know about you all, but I got back and I'm still on like cloud nine when it comes to that. The game was so much fun for so many people. I just had a blast. Besides, like, I think I only had problems with two individuals, 2.5 instances, but then the cats really outside of our control as a player issue. But it was overall a great event. So thank you so much for coming on. As always, guys, you get to and take minutes here. Go ahead and pose the questions out there and talk about them. Go through. So, Ian, since you're one of the head guys there and everything else, I'll let you go ahead and start off. I got a question for you. How do
Sure.
you feel this game played compared to other games in recent past?
I think that this was probably the most well organized and successful Bad Blood since we've moved to our current location. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Well, he'll be back. Um, Sin's chewing. Yeah, there he is.
Todd the door. Yeah, I think it was the best Bad Blood we've had since we've moved to EMR in Pennsylvania. When we did move, I can't remember when the first game was. I want to say 2016, maybe 17. I don't remember. We implemented some new rules because of the terrain at EMR being relatively flat. Yes, we know there are some pretty gnarly hills and stuff, but it was relatively flat where our old location was incredibly varied terrain and it was really kind of tight, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
So we instituted a new rule of allowing teams to break off into smaller groups to kind of maybe more quickly achieve objectives as opposed to just the big old horde of 200 to 300 players, depending on the player cap, right?
Yeah.
And the first few years of that, it got to the point where you had so many little groups all over the place that the core fundamentals of the game were being lost because we've got the relatively unique mechanism of a mobile respawn system. So when you're not with your group, how can you be with your mobile respawn? It's not just everybody respawns at a specific time wherever you are. You have to return to your group. So if you got all these tiny little groups all over the place, you can't control it. You know what I mean? And this year, the commanders that we had in place kind of went back to that old mentality of let's stay as big groups and use our little smaller cells for information gathering as opposed to objective taking. And that seemed to be a lot more successful because the information was actually getting passed back to the horde and then they would move en masse and take the objective. So
Yeah.
I feel that everybody had more at stake in it, I think, because as soon as the information comes back, the entire group now has their orders and they're all of one set mind on what to do next. As opposed to you've got all these groups all over the place, they might necessarily be getting information on what they need to do, and they're kind of just out there willy-nilly, not doing anything.
So let me interject here because somebody just asked a question. Clay Hall asked, "What fields are where are your fields located, and are you actually looking for players or just the name?" So the idea behind Players Wanted is that I travel all across the country. My main field's down here in Miami. Virchew plays up in Ohio. Ian is in New York City, right?
I'm in New York City.
Yeah.
I have a field in South Jersey, and then we do the whole tri-state area.
So the whole idea behind it is to bring more players in here to go through, and then I always look for more players to see if they're going to incorporate well on my team and with the stuff that we do because of how much travel and everything that we take part in, which we do a lot of travel. I got home yesterday from Bad Blood after being on the road since Thursday, so that's some really good stuff. So one of the cool things about this event that I love about Bad Blood, which is unique from a lot of other ones, is that if you're doing it right, there is zero need to go back to the original spawn that you guys were at. You just follow your triage around. This year, because I guess I had staff comms, I could hear clearly that we were well communicating where the triages were at. The different COs would say, "Hey, we're over here," or like somebody say, "Hey," I think Virchew said it, "Hey, Joker, where are you guys at? Because you got a lost soul wandering over here." So I was like, "Oh, we're up on the ridge." So then he knew to go up onto the send a person up onto the ridge and stuff like that. And we weren't used that as tactical advantage. And in fact, I think a couple times it actually helped groups sort of stay away because when you have masses of like 100 people, there was a couple times where all the triages just meshed together. There was a time where I was like on the ground waiting for my opportunity to knife Sin, and all of a sudden Dusek showed up behind me, and there's a firefight, and I'm like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah, yeah.
uh, I'm from Ohio, looking to make it a serious hobby. Well, it's definitely a great hobby to get into. The community here is awesome. Um, So having that, like, there is no medicing. There's anything. You get shot, you put your dead rag on, and you're supposed to walk back to your triage or your respawn immediately. That helps with the confusion factor of whether or not somebody's in play. The only people not allowed to move are the COs because they're supposed to bleed out in 5 minutes.
Right.
We're going to talk a little bit about that. So, because we're going to jump into that score and the controversy and all that, just so everybody's understanding of what exactly happened here, guys. Um, as much as a majority of the time being, Green Snoodle had a blast the whole time. It was fun.
That's AWOL.
That's
Oh,
AWOL.
that's AWOL. That's
That's
great.
AWOL.
Okay. So I love this event. Because of the rule set. The rule sets are very easy to follow. There's a lot of cool things with that. But the second thing is the location. Guys, if you have not had a chance to go to EMR Event Park, you need to for a big event. It is well worth it. The AO is fantastic. You have all sorts of different feels and everything else. But when we go over this AAR, I'm just going to make a request publicly here about where we put the stamps so we don't have to deal with some stuff that we dealt with this year.
All right.
All right, so let's start about like who won the game. That's what everybody wants to know about and all that. So
All right. So Bad Blood is broken down into technically 5 teams. All right. You've got 4 warring armies, and you've got one group of, we call them tribals, but they're basically in the storyline, they're the people of the land that we're all fighting over. And they are in charge of guarding the objectives on the field. And so we have a team called Black Shirts. Their uniforms are relatively obvious. We have a team called Deus Ex, which is for all of the more operator type guys. It's a multicam transitional uniform. Then we got General Green's Army, which is all of your greens and your woodland variants. And then you've got a team that we've actually combined from 2 other teams over the years called the Marxist Task Force. which is all of your tans and your desert camouflages. And this year, and to preface that, the Marxist Task Force has won the last 5 games in a row.
Wasn't it 6?
No, well, it would have been. It was the last 5 games in a row, and this year they ended up losing on a tiebreaker decision to the Deus Ex team.
So, because Marcus started yelling at me, guys, let me explain something of what happened, right? And I guess this is a good thing for anyone that's a CO should be paying attention to in the future. Like in case Sin's not there for green team or whatever. When the game ends, you stow your gear, you go right back, and you go to the staff meeting. And the staff meeting is very important so we can go over stuff before the raffle, like who won the game. And if, say, a major incident happened on the field where there was some confusion about whether or not a CO was in play or not, the stamp could have been taken, I'm in a unique position as like an F-tier celebrity that's attending this event that is there. If all of a sudden Moondog and Ian and Sonic turn to me and say, "So Joker, what do you say? Should Marxist win?" I said, I'm not making that decision. I only gave the information I knew, which is that a CO bleeds out after 5 minutes and walks back to respawn. As how I interpret that rule is, you have to reach the CO within 5 minutes to get the stamp. If you don't, it's not in play.
Right.
Now, I was there, at least D tier. Aw, thanks. I saw the incident, at least from afar. I knew where my CO was because it was a Marxist CO. I knew he was down. He was down for more than 5 minutes. He got up and he walked and he helped a buddy with the bag, but they were insisting about getting that stamp. I wasn't going to make the decision and say, no, Marxist should win. I think I advocated that. I'm okay with letting Deus Ex have it. However, I think I'm the only guy that was able to get in and lay hands on 2 COs inside the middle of all the enemies. I think we should have won.
Yeah. I'm still salty.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, look, Deus Ex fought a hard game and everything else. I have my suggestion for future games is, in order so there's not a tiebreaker, is that we just add up all the stamps that were collected by all stamp collectors instead of the ones that we currently had. So then that might be a better way of saying, okay, well, that might have been a better off tiebreaker because that means it's a more clean victory for somebody.
I understand what you're saying, but what I do when I count the stamps is I go through all 10 stamp cards from each team, and I only count the unique stamps, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, for example, one of the stamps that was in the northeast side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
When a team got that stamp, they eliminated the few tribals who were guarding the area. They just had all of their collectors swarm on the stamp. So they got the one stamp 10 times. Well, I only counted it once because you got one stamp. You know what I mean?
What I mean is, I believe it was 5-5, right? Was the score?
It was 5-5, right.
So there's 10 stamps and 9 guys have 5. One guy has 2. Then you have Deus Ex that has all 10 have 5. That means all the stamp collectors were there in play doing their jobs, getting the stamps. So it might be an easier way of saying, okay, well, they have Deus Ex got 50, Marxist got 47. I just think it would be a cleaner victory, so there would be no confusion in the future. And if then we have that point, maybe after that we have like some sort of rock paper scissors duel or something like that, or bring out pool noodles and then have them do a trial by combat with pool noodles right there.
We've had ties in previous games before, and we settled them a lot of times with pistol duels. The problem now, especially with this past weekend, was us non-Floridians, we were gassed out. So trying to get people back on that field for another 10, 15 minutes while everybody had already stumbled all off, they'd thrown off their gear, it wasn't going to happen.
No,
All right, hear me out. Here's the idea.
We have done CO versus CO pistol duels before.
No. All we need is one hater, one round, pass the gun back and forth.
It's an idea. It's an idea.
So that was like my only real suggestion on it, because I thought all the cards were counted originally. So when I saw it, I was like, I'm not. I should have probably spoke up and said, hey, why don't we just count all the stamps, see who got the most stamps between the two teams, and see who won. And that might have been a way that we could have done it. I just don't want Deus Ex to think that I'm trying to undermine their victory, and I don't want Marxists to think that that we didn't do it. I mean, RCO should have been at the staff meeting. Don't know what happened. Not throwing him under the bus, but if he would have been there, the point could have been argued, and I think we could have had a fun way of doing the tiebreaker for everybody to see who was there. But hey, look, it's not like it's not like the Patriots where oh look, the Patriots are going to win a Super Bowl this year. Let's not watch. So in that sense, I'm also like, all right, cool.
Don't die.
Yeah, sorry.
At the end of it all, it is still a charity event. So winning is always great, but the real point was to have a great time and raise money.
So as far as I'm concerned, Green won by completing phase 2 of our plan, which was the highest body count possible.
I don't think that's true. I mean, I got over 100
your teammates. Kills. We wiped your team out repeatedly, and you weren't there because you were off stabbing somebody.
That is a very valid point, sir. I will say that Marxist was a little bit handicapped this year. We didn't have our CO, and we didn't have our XO. So without Dom there and without Chef, like repeatedly yelling at people, cursing at them, telling them to move, and if they took cover, they would shoot them. It took a minute for Marxist to get its groove on. I was like, okay, everything's moving smoothly. Let me go kill some people. And I come back, and everything's disarray again. And then Casper at one point turned to me. He goes, you can't leave anymore. And I was like, why not? He goes, because they don't listen to anybody but you.
Because you're loud.
I got the dad voice, man. It's not even like the dad voice. It's like everything that goes with the dad thing of move. And I loved how like there was one kid that said, I don't see you running forward. I was like, I got a knife. I was like, you know what? Che, let's go. And we booked it down the hill, making this huge bulge. And we're running right towards Black Spawn. And we're just running. And all of a sudden, Black's like, don't come this way. So I tried to stop. And I said, I'm stopping. Still went in like another 50 feet because this freight train doesn't stop. So, and everybody just went moving. And then I ran up and I actually knifed somebody. And I came walking back. And I go, see? I could still be effective with just a knife. Get up there. So once they started getting their act together, it really helped out. But this was I love this event. I love what happened here. I mean, the teams were really there was a lot of close quarter firefights, which it always happens like every Bad Blood, at least once or twice. The triages just get congested, and there's times where things have to be interacted, like pushed out and all that. And it was kind of interesting to watch it happen a few times. It was really funny to be laying on the ground saying, "That's it over there," and all of a sudden Deus Ex pops up behind me. I'm like, "Shit."
Yeah, there were some really, really good moments, even early on when the first hour or so, when things are pretty chaotic and people are still trying to get in their groove of how they're going to move this big mass of people. And Primer and I just stood there and just watched this prolonged firefight just play out for a good probably 10 minutes. It was a couple Deus Ex guys taking on these two guys from Black Shirts, and they were just back and forth. And it was there was grenades being thrown. One guy was using a hard cover properly, and they were on, like, the one guy who's behind soft cover, he took the hit. He was completely professional about it. And it was really impressive to watch. And I think Primer got some good photos of it. If not, he was just standing there watching it like me, just like impressed by these 5 guys just not giving up. And it was really fun to watch.
I have to say, I saw a lot of that as well. I saw a lot of people like just doing some really awesome moves, and I'm just like, well done, sir. Um,
This is the
like,
one event I wish I had my camera for because there were some epic moments. There was a guy on the ridge with an LMG that was hosing down our entire team. Like he held this ridge by himself for a solid 30 minutes. And AWOL was there where I had my epic moment, and I really wish I was recording because nobody had range on him. I asked the kid behind me, I was like, "What's the range on that gun?" He goes, "I don't know." I take the gun, line up the shot, one shot. I drop the gunner. You hear him in the back scream, "Hit!" And I hand the kid the gun back, and my entire team is looking at me. I'm like, "Yeah, I meant to do that." But that one kid, 30 minutes by himself, down in some bushes in a gully, just hosing down the entire team. We could not get up that hill. Oh yeah,
yeah,
right.
it's like one of the cool things that I really do like here about this place is like because of the rules are not um, overly strict. In like how you have like really extremely. I mean, we have some strict restrictions on camo, but it's not like one of the like some of the events that I've been to where it's just like, Jesus, guys, I'm here to play and have fun. I'm not here to actually, you know, act like I'm in the military, schlepping all over the place. And I'm sure as hell not going to call you sir, and I sure as hell I'm not going to salute you. So, um, what I love is that we had you have such great people that are there that are willing to listen, willing to try through new things, and for the most part, the interactions that happened when they got knifed, in particular, were hilarious. Um, like I've been waiting for this one. I can hear Sin. So I knifed that guy.
I love you.
I'm already dead. That's why I was putting my shit away. I just got shot. You're late.
You know where I was? I was right there.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm alive. Yourself?
Not anymore.
Not really. I'm not trying to take them off here. Actually, I'm trying to I'll take a drain on that. I'm hurt. Help! You're dead.
You know, the black shirts were they were on point this year, and that
Sure.
shows just the absolute lack of situational awareness that really makes me kind of question how they did as well as they did.
How you doing? I'm alive. Not anymore. Almost every single person that I straight up just walked past, they always got a blade like right across their body, right? And then I spotted Liam, and I'm like, I'm going for him. I'm going for him. Please, I didn't care if I got anybody else. I got him. Then I got Cordello. Then I got the other guy, and I was like, I could still go. Give me the stamp. That was kind of funny. This is another funny moment that happened. I want to say about 30 minutes beforehand. Let's see, go back to it. Where is it?
What's good? What, down there? I don't know. Are you alive?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Aww.
Are you in?
Uh-huh.
No? Okay.
Aww.
The sheer amount of people that just look at you in disbelief, like, no, he can't possibly be up to no good.
You know,
I know
I'm going to give him credit for not just turning and just blasting you at point blank. They take the knifing like champs and move on. I like that.
I like it. At the same time, I wish there was no MED at this game. Because I'm fully expecting to get shot at close range. I'm expecting it, and I'm almost cheering for it. I'm almost like, this can't be this easy. This can't be this easy. This can't be this easy.
Yeah, but
Stabby stab.
we got to have some kind of MED, just the sheer amount of people.
I get it. And then people are like, you could throw the knife. And I was always doing like this underhanded chuck, so I really wasn't slinging anything. I was like, it's not in the rule book. I imagine I can. And if you always see, I'm always like releasing with my hands, so I'm not flicking the wrist or anything else. And there was just so many of these funny moments that happened with me knifing people. It was just hilarious. Like, did I hear stabby stab? I'm calling it the pokey poke. You know, since we can't say stab on Facebook, you can't say shoot. We're just going to say stabby stab or pokey poke and pew pew.
Well, that's brilliant, Ducky. Next Bad Blood, you have to bring a box. And take your way through it.
You know, I really did want to set up a big ass. If I would have found a big enough box to hold me up and just put it right in the middle and see if anybody would have came and just be like stab.
No, but the MED thing was one of the things I was going to bring up next time we actually sat down and talked. Was how do you feel about no MED on untapped pistols?
I'm okay with pistols.
I mean, I'm from the same world as you guys. I like that realism, and if I get up close and personal, I expect to pay the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if we don't have your motocross jerseys and your tapped drum mag pistols, yeah, I'm totally fine with taking a shot to the knee. Or watching you take a shot to the knee. That is.
Used to be a pitcher.
I mean, I did get shot a few times. Like, I unfortunately I did not realize the battery of my GoPro died, or I would have swapped it out. So I lost like the last 2 hours of the game, which is actually some of the best running I've done in a while too. But it was just like I was shot at close range, and people were like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "You're good, man. I get it. I surprised the shit out of you. It's fine." Like, one guy, I came up right behind him, and I put the knife right up against his throat, and he turns around and he just goes, "What the hell?"
That's fair.
I was like, "Oof." And he goes, "Oh my god!" I was like, "You're good, dude. That's the best reaction." And my camera wasn't on. It would have been so great because I had one guy that I scared so bad he ran forward and bounced off a tree.
Yeah, I will say this about this year's Bad Blood, except for like 2 exceptions, the sportsmanship this year was amazing.
Yes.
Wolfman, you are absolutely right. But here's the thing. When it comes down to doing the knifing, it really is a solo thing. And the reason being is if they see more than one of us walking, they're going to start shooting more. I have, I guess, such a casual walk that nobody cares when I come walking up. Now, I can understand Deuce X letting me like walk up to them and stuff because I'm dressed in tan, and most people equate tan to multicam. Black shirts and green, no damn excuse.
Nah.
Because this one, here's another real funny one. This one's.
He just said that, yeah.
Just in case.
Oh.
Doing here?
Kill him! Kill him! Kill him!
I hit him. Joker. Scared the living shit out of us. I got you, Lo.
Never let him. Make sure he's dead before you walk with him anywhere. No, never touch Joker.
I didn't even know.
You're dead.
It's tunnel vision. These guys, they get they get a target in their head, and they don't look around them at all.
Well, that's the funny thing, Liam. Like, so many people looked at, or Ian, I don't know why I keep screwing you and Liam up. I'm sorry, but I
That's all right.
can't believe how many people look dead ass at me, and they still let me walk up, and it's like, if you're not wearing a red rag, you should be shot. Period. And we had 3 guys attempt to do it into our spawn with our to us. I saw them come walking up. It was 1 green. Oh, so 4 times. 1 green, 2 black, and 1 deuce X. They all tried getting into it, and I was like, shoot them. And they go, why? It's like, just shoot them. Damn it. I was like, you can't pull a me, especially when I'm standing right here. If you don't have a dead rag on coming in, forget about it. So
I'm just going to put up one-hit posters with Joker's face on it next year.
I heard about the bounties that were on me already, sir. Evidently, they didn't work too well.
Because nobody could find you. Like, every time I got a report of your location, they're like, yeah, Joker just left so-and-so. All right. He just knifed some guy. We don't know where he's going.
Yeah, I don't stay put. So whenever I do events and all that, it's like I run with Dark Horse 6 a lot of times. I like playing with them and having a good time. And with a lot of times now is like Steve uses me as his advanced recon. He goes, because I just going to go. He goes, when they followed me one time, like I had a Dark Horse 6 follow me because we're going to an objective. They kept stopping to set up security. I was like, let's just go. They go, what about our rear security? I said, our speed is our rear security. Because in Milsim, in these games, that's a fact. If you just don't stay put, people can't report your position. They have no idea where you're at. And they come running towards you, think you're at one spot, and they run into you totally unprepared. So, I loved almost everybody's reaction. There was only one dude that really got upset. He didn't say anything. He was just shaking his head that he got knifed. And he even said, are you in? I knifed you, didn't I? Of course I'm still in. I showed pictures and a video of him with the bounty. I found Joker in Fort War, but I was already a dead tribal. So many people went through my lunch. Nick. Sorry. We got a report that there was a box inside of Fort War, and I'm like, really? There's not supposed to be one in there. All right, let's go for it. We push Fort War. I get inside. I go walking upstairs. Nick's right there, and I'm like, he goes, it's just my lunch. I was like, you're effing kidding me, right? Nope. It's his lunch.
Yeah, I felt bad. We got up to the fort, and black shirts were in it. We mowed them over to get to this box. They opened the box. There's nothing in it. I radioed it in, and somebody's like, oh, that's Nick's lunch. Said, really?
So would that be like the cool thing about this event is that you can play multiple different classes of stuff. I'm going to be one of the biggest proponent because it's the next subject I want to talk about, which is the heat casualties and all that. This is one of the events where you bring out a lightweight kit. Don't worry about lugging a big old backpack full of a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, go light, and you could do a lot of cool stuff. Go light, go fast. One is going to save you. It's going to save your body, because I don't know what it is about Pennsylvania in the summertime, but I tell you what, that sun is intense. And this is the Florida boy talking to you. I was just out today, trying to save what's left of my lawn for my wife, who wants to rip it all up and put plants in. So I had to make it pretty. I was out there for 3 or 4 hours. I didn't feel nearly as sun beat as I did in Pennsylvania just on Saturday. And the temperature was 10 degrees less up there than it was down here.
Altitude, man. It's closer to the sun in PA. You're up on a mountain.
I don't know, a couple thousand feet.
Yeah, it felt like the sun never actually changed position. It was just above us all day long. It was muggy. It wasn't terrible, but it was muggy, and there was no air. There was no wind or anything. It was just
it showed up for dead blood, which was great because I was running all that time. But I mean, it was mostly just it wasn't humid, at least not for me. I think it was like 30% humidity or something like that, maybe 40.
Yeah, I guess maybe it was just some of the areas that I found myself kind of walking through to do my checks were, I guess, a little swampy from
the swamp was humid.
And just like, oh my God, why are people out here? And like, oh, I'm over by the Pines area, which is on the western side. And that whole grassy area was very wet and swampy. So you get some humidity off it. And I'm just talking to myself, minding my own business, just complaining about the heat. And then I hear Ginger Bear in the pines where it is markedly cooler, completely shaded all day long. Shut up. It's not that bad. You guys got a lawn chair out there. Of course, it's not that bad. You're in the shade. You've got a chair. You're just waiting for people to roll over you so you can just have some fun with them and make their lives miserable. I'm walking in this stuff. So, and shut up. It's not that bad.
So for my next segment, for the next portion, we're going to talk about the Heat Cats and everything else, and how stupid people were with how they went onto the field. I want to say that Marxists, we decided stupidly to go right down into the ravine because we remembered from last year there was possibly a stamp in the hut. I said, I was like, there's probably going to be something down there. We just don't know where these stamps are. So we went down the hill, then back up the hill again, and we had combat on either side. But within, I think it was the first 40 minutes of the game, we had our first 2 Heat Cats, and we had an ankle injury, all happened at one spot where Marxist was at, and it all happened right by that strip going down. The point being, it is I think that moving forward, we should make sure there's never going to be a stamp down in the ravine, or anywhere that causes people to go downward in elevation for in mass like that to do stuff, because I believe we had 6 people fall in that area.
I believe it.
And within the first hour, like 2 guys didn't need to get carted out. He goes, it wasn't a complete, like 2 guys were not a complete fallout. They sat down on the rock that I was sitting on and they just started chugging water. I was like, yeah, you probably should have been doing that last night.
Yes. Statistically, that is the biggest casualty point on the whole field.
Yeah, that incline,
that whole stretch up that hill, it's bad.
Because the incline to get back up is steep. Most people just don't realize how steep it is. I mean,
and it's a single lane. Like you're not getting up there even with a buddy. It's single file up and down.
Yeah. The other thing is that people need to make better choices in what they wear when they go to these events. One guy, we had to strip out of a neoprene hoodie because it matched the color.
Like a wetsuit?
That's the material it felt like, to be honest with you. It felt like it was neoprene. While it was thin, there was no breathing going on with that thing.
Right.
That thing was designed to retain heat, and boy, did it! That kid probably got cooked in there. I'm pretty sure he's one of the ones that went out on the round. And it's not to talk negatively about EMR or anything else. I mean, the medical team was on point to come down, but the people that I saw that fell out, for the most part, seemed to be newer players, and Marxist got them because all the tickets were sold out, which is understandable.
Yeah.
And they had no spare hydro on them. They had no hydro pack or anything else. It almost to the point where we might have to start saying, hey, before you walk onto the field, you need to do this.
Yeah, hindsight is 2020. Looking back on it, the hydration situation was definitely not as adhered to as previous events. Like I saw many a time where somebody was claiming that, half a liter of a bottle of water from the gas station was going to suffice them for the day. And they were told, no, that's not going to work. You're going to drain that in the next 15 minutes. And then what?
Yeah. So the first major one that we had, which I think required a bus, was that guy full on passed out. We had to lift him up, move him into the shade. I think that moving forward, another suggestion would be to have a general call to shut down the game, because in that particular situation, we had to strip down his iPro and everything else. So when we called for a ceasefire and everything else, there was a little bit of confusion of what do we need to call. This guy's getting stripped because of how hot he was.
Right.
And I think we just need to have that, even though it's a large AO, and that maybe it might be localized. That if we make the general call, like for AT Airsoft, they use Mississippi. They start screaming out Mississippi. That means everybody mags out, everybody takes a knee, finds find a spot to wait until it's called off. Luckily, the Gator was there fast. Able to get the guy off the field real quick. At that point,
by then he got pretty used to knowing where to go.
Yeah, well, at that point, that's when I took off my gun, and I took off all my bags, and I took all the weight off my body because I figured that at this point, I'm where we got a man down. Where? Right in the same spot. Just follow the Marxist, you'll find us. So I think that if we can put a requirement in that people have to go onto the field with at least some sort of hydro pack, or show us like a big like 1, maybe 2 liters of water that they have on them when they go onto the field, it might help alleviate that.
Yeah.
So we don't have many people drop off. I mean, my pro tip is I always do half Powerade and half water. So
yeah, that'll work. Yeah.
That way I'm not overloaded with sugar and everything else, but at the same time I'm getting electrolytes. It's what plants want. Sorry, if you catch the movie reference.
Yeah.
And then I know we talked about this during the staff meeting, everything else about getting hydro stations set up around the place. I think it might just be a good idea just to, in most common areas, just to stack a couple of, buy a couple of cases of water. I mean, we could probably get water dirt cheap, like entire cases. I know that Tim might not want the things
trash
around there, trash, but when we talk about 800 players, what we want them to do is we want them to take the water, drink what they can, and then carry the rest with it. But if we leave a trash can right by the water things, it should go through and, pick up. I mean, that's the biggest suggestion I would make for that, so we don't have this again. Because I'd hate to see somebody get seriously hurt from that.
The 30-gallon coolers that finally came out were definitely a big plus. And I know that at least I was near the black shirts when they finally were deployed out to the spawns. And Liam made a point to make everybody top up what they had. So they depleted that whole water thing to make sure everybody had all the water they needed. So that was good. I can't speak for any of the other teams if they did the same thing, but I know Liam made sure to take care of his guys and said, "Okay, water's here. Fill up your stuff."
Yeah,
and he did.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. When you only have 30-gallon jugs and you're talking about 200 people, how much water is each person going to be able to get before it's depleted?
Yeah, but you know what? The way I was looking at it was even a liter of water or even a canteen of water, it's better than somebody falling out because all they had was a nice water bottle from Walmart, or you know what I mean? Like that's not hydration. Like we're not even going to get into you should have hydrated before the game. That's
true.
The ones I saw,
you got to do that, but we're not going to get into telling people how to live their lives. Hydrate before the game.
Hydrate. Start hydrating now for Bad Blood 2023. Okay.
Basically,
I posted it in my forum. I posted it on my Facebook, and I was like, "Hail Hydrate." That was one of our callbacks this weekend, and it was the only incident I had was a kid that apparently most people don't realize this. Gatorade alone will not hydrate you. Gatorade alone will dehydrate you. If you read the bottle, it states it's 1 bottle of Gatorade for 1 bottle of water. Most people don't realize this. Most people aren't doing it, but there's this kid taking Gatorade bottles down like a frat girl taking shots, and I was like, "You are gonna dehydrate yourself, man."
Because it's what is electrolytes? It's sodium.
Yeah, it's just salt.
So your body's losing the salt through your sweat. You're replenishing your salt content, but if you mix it a little bit, it's good. The big somebody was complaining. So this is also to address the people that are saying, "Oh, well, the people that dropped out were drinking." The people I saw drop out weren't drinking. They weren't of drinking age even by far. They were mostly younger players that had issues because they're probably new players, or they probably thought they were going to be fine, not realizing how much up and down is going to happen at this particular park, not used to it, and they went down. So the big factor is what we always say is hydrate. What Sid and I do for the prison games is that at each spawn, we have several cases of water that we provide just to make sure we don't have that issue. On the bus, always drive like the bus always has water on it and Powerade as well. But I guess for next year, we really should do the investment in getting some, some of those ice packs, just in case. Because I mean, there were some hot body temps. Do we ever find out what that kid's body temp, core temp was when he got pulled
no
in?
idea.
The temp I heard was hot.
Another side of that too is the three of us. We're not new to this, so we kind of know what to expect, right?
To interrupt
a lot
you real
of
quick,
people.
Ian, hold on, interrupt real quick. Virchew's got to take off, so he's going to say goodbye to everybody. He's got work and stuff to do, so we just want to say thank you for coming on, Virchew, and we'll talk to you later on.
All right, well, I got to get my butt to Colorado, but want some, get some. I'll catch you guys.
Good luck.
Bye. And then there was two.
So, like I was saying, is you, me, Virchew, we're veterans at what we do. So we kind of know, we've gone through the paces of, we know what we need and what we don't need gear wise, right? And a lot of people use Bad Blood as a starter big game, right? So they just throw everything they've got. Oh, I might need it. And they take it out there, not thinking I don't need it. One thing that rings a bell that happened was one of our staff members brought back to Lost and Found an entire rucksack. And this thing was loaded. No, granted,
green
it was
one, right?
loaded. Yeah. It was loaded
heavy.
with plenty of water, low sodium jerkies, some Slim Jims, some snacks, even some fruit. Like whoever's bag this was prepared for hydration and sustenance, but this thing weighed a ton, and you could kind of tell that it was a little guy. Like this was not somebody our age, our size carrying this bag. This was an under 18-year-old out there, probably his first, maybe second organized game, thinking I need all the things. And I guess he wisened up and he took it off.
I need this left someplace.
But he just left it there. So it got returned, and I'm hoping he came back and got it. But so they were smart in taking off this probably good 20, 30 pounds of weight they didn't need. If that was their only water source, then I'm concerned. But
that when I lifted it, because that thing was handed to me, and I think I handed it off to Moondog. That thing was heavy.
The thing was real heavy.
And I was like, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about dropping weight, because the more weight that you can drop off your kit that you just don't need to carry out there, especially at a game like Bad Blood. Bad Blood is different than a lot of the other Milsim games where you're going into building to building to building. This game, you're dealing with elevation, you're dealing with heat, lack of airflow, and typically the armies don't stop moving too much.
Right.
So it's all that moving around and everything else, all that weight weighs on you. And
also, if the weight's got you even slightly kind of off center and you take a roll or something, you're going down a hill, or, like you're just going to start tumbling, and that's dangerous. You're going to get hurt. You're going to hit your head. You're going to do something worse because you wanted to have all the stuff.
Yeah.
And, all the stuff is great. We love having all the stuff, and, Airsoft is as much a fashion show as it is a game, but kind of look around you and see
here we go.
Guys who are wearing just like a little rig as opposed to the guys who are wearing,
So here it is. It was a bigger guy, probably bigger than Joker. He was probably in his 30 to 40s. This was his first plasma. Didn't realize it was going to be a central spawn, and to leave it at. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. But still, okay, fine. It wasn't a minor. That's fine. But the point remains, this was the gentleman's first event, didn't know what to expect, and wanted to take all the stuff.
Yeah.
They were smart to take the bag off eventually, but until then, he was lugging this thing around. That had to hurt.
I got an idea for the next Bad Blood.
Okay.
How about we just invest some money, get a whole bunch of cases of water, and when we go to do the safety brief, we just walk through, start passing out bottles of water, and say, "Everybody, do us a favor. down that water right now, please. At the start. That might be a good way to get everybody going and saying,
Good.
hydrate. Now, do it some more, guys. It might be I think it might just be in the best interest that we do stuff at the start. Now, even if I wasn't used to,
Thanks,
even if
Nick.
I wasn't used to, I was very close with their lunch. God damn it, Virchew. So glad I stabbed you. He was already dead when I got up there. But it might just be one of those things where, like, for me, even if I wasn't used to doing this stuff and all that, the temperature and the humidity and all that didn't affect me as nearly as much. I mean, towards the end, I started asking people for bottles of water because my hydro pack was empty and we hadn't gone back up to the front. Now, I was more than willing to walk out and get more, but people are like, "Yeah, here's a bottle of water." I was like, "Great, awesome," and that's what made me think on the field. I was like, "Man, we need more," because I downed 2 liters of my 50-50 mix and I was out, and I should have at any point in time. You have to walk off the field. You should replenish your hydro packs. I screwed up because I was in such a state when we pulled that kit off. I didn't refill my pack.
Right.
So,
Like, I mean, I'm admittedly out of shape. And I wasn't even carrying any gear. And by the end of the day, I found myself taking extended breaks and taking bigger drinks than I was thinking about. So, I mean, it affects everybody. Like, even though I've been doing bad blood for quite a while now, and doing, all the other events and everything, it even gets to me, and I knew what to expect. So,
it was our first bad blood game, and I was told by veterans of bad blood that you guys checked me. You guys checked me for a day's worth of food, water, and came completely over prepared. Who the hell? Who told you that? That's what I want to know. I now want to know who told you that
we
we're
do
going to
recommend. I can't remember the exact number. I should, because I helped to write it, but I want to say I think we recommend a minimum of 2 liters to a gallon of water. I don't know anywhere where we suggest you bring any kind of food. I mean, food's good because you're going to be out there all
No,
day long.
we did suggest bringing lunch out onto the field so you wouldn't have
Okay.
any downtime.
We
We
did,
did
yeah.
mention that at a couple of those things, but that does not mean bring a 5-course meal. It means bring something about the size of an MRE onto the field that you can eat. Like, bring a sandwich that's not going to spoil or something of that nature, so you don't have to walk off the field.
I've always liked myself. I've always been a peanuts guy. A couple bags of peanuts for the salt, and chase it with some water.
Actually, one of the things I used to carry around with me quite a bit was those the applesauce in a packet that you could just suck in for emergency energy. I called it my emergency energy. People of the Greens team Facebook. I'm sorry somebody told you that, man. I really am, because if I would have heard that, I would have been like, no, don't do that. Just the only thing you need to bring out there is water, ammo, and your mags and all that, and keep your kit low.
Well, the important thing is, did you get your bag back? Because it was turned into Smurf. It was brought back to the registration. Did you get your bag back?
Smurf said something that she must have known who it was. There was a group of guys sat down at a shaded woods and ate a full-blown MREs. I didn't have any MREs to eat this time, but I mean, also in my defense, I was out there walking around. I mean, my tank stays pretty full when I have something. So, I mean, I got the belly. I could afford to lose a few pounds. But, yeah, I was trying to behave the entire time. What I'm trying to do right now is actually put a couple things over so I can share with you guys some more stuff. Let's see, where is it? Oh yeah, the body from Dead Blood. What's that? Brad Walls, Ben Hirth. The Geigerland's questions will be later on tonight. We're talking mostly about Bad Blood here and just trying to move this up. Didn't have no brisket. Yeah. Thanks, Duck. By the way, you're uninvited for Saturday. Don't come over. But typically, sorry. there's like a lot of like cool small emergency stuff that you can have that you can get yourself some quick emergency sugar if you need to, and stuff that doesn't weigh you down. Um, but it's like we've been harping on this like as if this was all bad and throughout. After I think after the first 2 hours, that's when most heat casualties ended.
Yeah.
So as the day got hotter, we pushed them all. We all the people that were going to fall out did, and others I guess caught good wind of, oh crap, this is bad. Let's fix some stuff up.
And they learned that shade is their friend.
Yeah,
you saw very few towards the end of the day. You saw very few people who were just out in the open, and they were smart for that.
Well, Tittman Town I was running through quite a bit, but that's also because I was also knifing people. Actually, this was the first people I knifed after coming back from that was actually tribals.
Oh, good.
So here, oh, there it goes, pops up.
Whoa!
How are you gonna not?
Because I'm already dead.
Over.
Yep.
Green, solid copy.
Hey. Thanks, Will.
You're dead. You're dead. You're dead.
But see, there you go. You got, stragglers just all off on their own. They got no protection, no support. Stay with your group, and jerks like you can't get through.
A lot of people said, "Oh, you didn't come full force at me." I did. That was Empire Battalion of Tittman. Yeah, I will say there was the last tribal I knifed where I threw the knife at him. I got shot in the back. I actually clipped out because the amount of cursing I did after that was intense. My back got chewed up with it in a real bad way. It hurt. I mean that one stung like. You saw the marks. I mean, I got shot 5 or 6 times, and I'm like, God. So, I mean, this is part of the fun stuff that was bad blood. Even though I was like hurt and everything else, I was like, it leads on to the only problem thing I really wanted to talk about was we had a problem, and I was like, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a 50-foot rule put in place about don't shoot 50 feet into the triages.
Right.
Like if there's a pool noodle, 50 foot around it is the safe zone.
Right.
Well, it became a problem, and I got to clip this video so that way God, I don't know what it is with these new glasses and this freaking thing, but it's weird. It's just fodder for Joker, I guess. We'll talk about that in a minute, Fluff, about the minigun. And what's going to be changing, I know, for next year. So they were in the tower over by that one tower piece that's over by Fort War that's further back into the woods. We're trying to move Marxist to Tittman Town, through Tittman Town, because we have black on one side of us and we had, I think, green on the other side, and we're being pushed by Deus Ex as well. So we were like around everybody, and we couldn't move. We couldn't go backwards. We couldn't go forward either way. The whistle glows. He's waving the noodle and saying, go, go, go. Next thing you know, from this tower, I'm standing there with my dead rag on my head. I get shot. Everybody else around me gets shot. And all these people still have their dead rags on. Nobody actually has put themselves into play yet. Some people moved, but most of the people that were shot were all dead.
Currently spawning.
Currently spawning. They couldn't go out there. So as I'm walking to these guys, they're shooting me with my dead rag, and I take out the ref thing, and I'm waving it, and they're still shooting me. So by the time I got up there, I was like, "Why are you still shooting me?" And I said it in the dad voice. I was like, "All y'all back to respawn. You're breaking a major rule of the event. You're not supposed to be shooting dead players." And the guy got a little bit of an attitude with me, and he's like, "Why you could?" So I was like, "Because you were shooting at us." He said, "Go, go, go." I was like, "You're not supposed to shoot there. People were dead." They go, He goes, I didn't see dead rags. I was like, I assure you, there were dead rags on all those guys. It was, if you had actually paid attention and saw, none of them even put their guns up yet. You're just shooting them. So as he went to go away, he said, you know, effing civilians. And I'm like, and Sasso was there. And he's like, I was in the military for 35 years. If an admin's telling you to walk, you don't sit there and have a discussion, argument, unless they're having a discussion with you. I kept telling them to walk away, walk away, walk away. Like, why are you still here? Go back to respawn. You've been sent off because you violated the rule of the game. And as far as I'm aware, that was okay to do. And I definitely didn't want to be like an asshole to anybody. But the reality is, guys, when it comes down to these triages, the triages have to be able to, people have to be at least given an opportunity to put their guns up. Now, I was going to wait until all the tan went out to go find Sin and knife him, you know, sort of like I did last year. I waited until they said, go, go, go. I got up and I walked over and went for my main guy. Thought the packet said 100 from triage, 100 feet from spawns.
Well, yeah, Chris Havens is kind of right. Now, here's why he's kind of right. And to go back to what you're saying, the written rule is 50 feet buffer around the tree, 360 around the triage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the unwritten rule that the embeds are really supposed to be following, and I found that some did, some didn't, was, are you familiar with rugby?
A little bit.
You know how the ball can't move past the most forward player, right?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, I know that rule.
Bad blood kind of moves backwards, where you've got your front line. Let me see, how can I do this? You get your front line, right?
Mm-hmm.
As the front line starts to get hit, they're supposed to move back 50 feet
mm-hmm.
from the front line. So your respawning force is going to be behind whoever's still in that front line. It's going to be a slow churn. So with the kind of unwritten MED of most well-tuned AEGs, firefights are going to be within the 50-foot range of each other, right? So
Yeah.
you're attacking force hitting a force at 50 feet. Well, the triage is 50 feet behind them. So that's where Chris is getting his 100 feet from triage. And he's right.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of embeds were kind of just stepping back, noodling. And so they're seen to people who have that tunnel vision of their targets. They're not seeing red rags, and not everybody had them. We know that always happens. So
yeah, Marxist
big
had
massive people. Some are dead, some are alive. So what would happen to you when a triage respawns and they almost immediately rejoin a front line? There's a confusion there.
This one was different because for Marxists, for the most part, because I was, I'm not saying I was CO because I wasn't. I was just doing a whole lot of yelling to make sure that things move smoothly. We kept our front line about 75, maybe almost 100 feet away from where the triage was. So the triage would move up. Of course, players would die. They would walk back. But our main line was always further away from the triage. So if our front line was up here, triage was here, we were being shot from the back.
Oh,
so
I see.
So yeah, it wasn't like that we were shooting into the line. We were shot from the back.
Okay, so you didn't have reinforcement players immediately joining a meat grinder.
Correct. These guys were not even.
Okay.
I mean, they couldn't even get to, because the meat grinder was going to be Tipman Town, and this was behind us. And
I mean, then what you're saying to me now, that's in my opinion, that's kind of bad form. If you're watching a triage respawn and they're walking away from you, they're not viable targets. I mean, I understand it's a game of pew, and maybe following them because they're on the hunt for an objective. Okay, I get it, but they're not engaging you. They're walking away. So I think it's kind of bad form, a little unfair to start shooting.
Okay, somebody said that
you shoot at the triage and shoot at the one carrying the pool noodle What?
That's
See,
not.
this is another situation of people just making up rules.
Yeah, that's not a rule at all. The triage, the pool noodle is not. I mean, when I went in and I stabbed Mama, I knew she was alive, and that was more of a giggle factor that I was able to walk up to her and do that. Right? It really wasn't something that should have been. I'm going to attack their triage. Again, I wasn't shooting at it. I was looking to find out where the CO was. Hey, what's up, Augie? So nobody said that it disables disables triage.
No,
Everybody automatically responds on the 10 minutes on every 10 minutes on the hour. So
the pool noodle's not a target. It's a guide on for your team to rally around so they can respawn on 10s with their group. Anyone who's saying that, by taking out an embed, you've disabled their ability to respawn. No, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's somebody not really reading the player packet and going over it. And it's also part of the problem that so many people were not paying attention during the safety brief. For not only for bad blood, but for also dead blood, which we're going to talk about dead blood in a minute because that's like one of my most favorite game modes that we played. And I'll show you all this how bad my body is right now. It is not looking pretty. But that was like really my only real issue I had out there. And then we had another guy that get upset with us because we were talking about for dead blood, we're going to be shutting down Chrono, and he was complaining that he wasn't going to get through Chrono. I was like, dude, there's like 3 people in front of you. There's 9 Chronos open. You'll get through. Amanda is where I heard that rule from. Who's Amanda?
One of the Deus Ex embeds.
All right. Okay. So the person carrying pool noodle, she got into a debate with another person carrying a pool noodle over that rule. Yeah, that's not a rule. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure for the next time that we're looking to have some more embeds and stuff that are there. It seems like we almost have to make sure that to have like our own little embed pep talk, if you would, to go over the rules and all that. Hey, look, I wasn't upset that I snuck up on that. I didn't sneak up on you, Jay. Let's save. All right, save that. All right. So with that being said, we're getting off on all the other stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about dead blood, my most favorite aspect of the game. And I know you got to take off soon in a little bit, Ian.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about this. This to me is probably one of the most fun aspects of the game because it doesn't matter for points. It's all just supposed to be fun. Where'd that video just go off to? Dang it. I don't know where it's saved at. 1 second. This was another one where you could tell people weren't going to pay attention because they couldn't hear, and they couldn't see, and they couldn't do whatever. So there was like a lot of mixed responses of what exactly happens. Like if a zombie touches you, you're supposed to become a zombie. Zombie shouldn't have to touch you 3 times. Reason being is you have an airsoft gun. They have nothing, or shouldn't have anything. So most people are like, "Oh no, you got to touch me 3 times." No, you can be shot 3 times and turn into a zombie. But if I touch you once, even with a little fingertip on you, you're a zombie. That's simple. Yeah. So to give an example, just what it looks like to be the king zombie, because I started as a zombie this year. My goal is to try to tag as many people as possible. And you're not a zombie at a Bad Blood game unless you look like this.
So this is me after the zombie game at Bad Blood 2022. The padded shirt didn't matter.
I didn't see anything.
You did?
No, I just saw a black screen.
Okay, let's try this again. Let's try going to the full size here. The hell happened?
So this is me after the zombie game at Bad Blood 2022. The padded shirt didn't matter.
You all saw it that time, right?
No. Weird. I don't know.
All right, give me. All right. As we talk about this, we'll give it another second for me to go through. All right. So, I gotta upload this. Why is that not working? Weird. Anyways, well, here you guys go. Front and center.
Ouch.
I haven't done the numbers of how many people actually tagged. It was a lot. Like Jay's like making the reference to and alluding to and all that. I went running towards him. He took me out more than once. I almost got him the second time when I was coming up the stairs. Most people just, I think Moondog said it best. Don't trust the zombies. Don't be complacent. And some of them were mad because I was just standing there. I didn't take a knee because I was only shot twice. I'm just a shambler. If you're going to walk up past me thinking I'm not in play, I'm not going to correct you unless you point at you go to point your gun. Even then, I'll say you better shoot because that's what this game's all about. Watch the tips fly in now.
Moondog zombie games have always been just a lot of fun. Always fun.
It's one of the reasons why I really love this event, I think, is because of this. All right, here it is. This time it should play.
So this is me after the zombie game at Bad Blood 2022. The padded shirt didn't matter.
All right, screw you, Restream.
Yeah, that looked incredibly painful.
On my screen, it was all blurted and wide. I don't know why it did that, but
yeah, we still got the point.
Yeah, but that, I mean, only a couple shots really hurt. So let's address the guy with the minigun, and then you can take off again. All right, so there was a minigun on the field. That ROF was like 14. The rate of fire was real short.
Actually, it was even less. Virchew told us in the staff meeting before you came back, 11.6.
11.6.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I'll address that, Tommy, about that because that never
so
happened.
About the minigun, yes, everyone is right. We did have explicitly in the rules no miniguns. We kind of always reserved miniguns for like this final end of battle that we ended up scrapping because it just kills the flow of the game. And the biggest problem was we couldn't accurately chronograph it and ROF it with our airsoft chronographs. You have to use the baseball V chronographs. Virchew looked at the guy's minigun and saw, I believe, I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but I believe he saw that he could chrono just the one single barrel and get an idea where this guy was at. Maybe he had a baseball chronograph. I didn't see. But he made the executive decision that this guy was well under the FPS regulations and was well under the maximum ROF. He felt that even though it was a small minigun, it was effectively a slow machine gun. He made the decision. We stood by it. Should we have allowed it? Probably not. Looking back, we probably should have said, no, sorry, the rules do state no miniguns for safety reasons, but we decided, okay, it was a one-off decision, and we made it, and we let the guy play. He was not dangerous. He was not overshooting anybody. He actually was less accurate than pretty much everybody out there because miniguns just spray.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't really seem to bother anybody, so we didn't see a whole big problem with it, to be honest with you. Now, of those of you who have miniguns and didn't bring them because it was in the rules, I'll apologize. But we made the decision for a one-off, and we won't be doing it again. But for Saturday, it didn't seem to be an issue.
Yeah, it was. So when it comes down to it, it's like there's going to be very few exceptions that are made in the future. Like for the Dead Blood game, there was one guy that had an M4, but it was literally a Springer M4. You had to pull it, shoot, pull it, shoot, pull it, shoot. And even then, I was overruled, but I said they shouldn't be allowed to bring anything that is specifically forbidden inside the rule book, so we don't have these sort of things going. But yeah, yeah. As I observed him personally, he wasn't hitting much. He said he was just spraying. So, Ian, thank you very much for coming out tonight to talk about it. I'm going to continue talking about Bad Blood because I had such a blast, and I'm going to talk about Dead Blood next for everybody else, and hopefully the restream starts playing videos correctly. But
I hope so.
Thank you, sir, for coming on. It was a great event. I had a ton of fun. Can't wait to do it again next year. Can't wait to see what other bags of tricks we can pull out for next year.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that I got my that I won that Crytek P90 that I didn't even realize I was into because Smurf is awesome.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah. Oh, you didn't hear about that. Smurf actually, because I didn't walk up to get my raffle ticket. I went straight to the stage. Smurf wrote the name on the back of it. The number was called, and I said, "Oh, you won something again?" She goes, "No, you did." And she showed the back was my name on it. I was like, "Oh,
that's great." Yeah, I had actually gone up to the lounge and passed out for about an hour.
Yeah.
I actually had a dream that Sin was calling me over the loudspeakers, and I was like, "Just leave me alone, dying. Leave me alone.
I just want to sleep." But thanks for a great event, and I mean, I think almost all the players would say too. I think on a whole that this was really fun. Somebody else said it there up higher. The $50 was worth it just for the raffle ticket.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I say for a first time on the raffle, it was worth it for the $50 by itself, let alone the 3 days of gameplay from Chris. So
yeah,
awesome.
I'm glad everybody had a great time. Thanks for having me on to talk about it. Moondog and I and the rest of the staff, we put a lot of effort and a lot of work into this game to make sure it goes off the way it should. And we're thankful that everybody comes out and has a great time, and we're gonna keep doing it as long as we can.
You're the only one on the team this year that has now something with raffle. All right, well, thank you very much, Ian. You have a great night, and have fun with the family. I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you guys.
All right. Goodbye, Ian. All right, so now it's just the Joker show. Sorry, guys. You're stuck with me now. This was by far one of the best things that were there. Played 50, gave away 3 guns, and had a blast. Loved it. It really was awesome. There was a particular player, and I forgot his name, who actually gave us the M249 that he won for Damien's chair. Thank you. Unfortunately, the stock is not in the box. So I got to contact Evike over it and find out if they can get me another one of those paracord stocks, one of the stocks for the gun, because there's just nothing in there. But I did get a chance to do some video editing and some cutting and all that. Now I'm concerned that it's not going to show up from the Dead Blood game. So let me just try loading this up here real quick, see if the file is not too big before we go. All right. Clips. Oh, it's loading. Cool. All right. So that'll be a few minutes, but I'll show for it. So yeah, Dead Blood is always a game that I'm going to look forward to every single year. Now, I did not intentionally go out to try to make my body look worse than it did last year. I brought my padded shirt. I brought my arm guards, which the arm guards did their job to a huge amount of extent. I really didn't have too many wounds from compared to my belly. Just once that video loads, you guys will see when it came to trying to take out players, I didn't care how many times. I mean, obviously I was within the rules of playing the game, but I didn't care about how many times I got shot, because it's just how I play. What video is this?
Oh shit, move!
Fuck. That son of a bitch hurt because of blast. Yeah. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna walk over here.
I got that on camera.
Oh, good.
That's the Ass Blaster 3000.
I would almost venture a guess, and I'd bet you $1. That was probably Jay Rodriguez's grenade that he threw. Just saying, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Jay threw that grenade. We're going to go dead pup between the night game Friday night and then Saturday. My body was shot next year. Yeah, Chris. I would actually give up doing the night game in order to do Jay. Jay, that was that was one of the tag grenades. I'm not to bust your chops or anything, or not to mess with you. I'm pretty sure it was you because you're the one throwing those. That poor guy's ass. I knew who you're throwing it at. You're throwing it at me, but you did not get nearly enough range. I saw that thing roll into him. I'm like, ooh. All right, give me a second here. All right, let's see. Did this upload yet? Because I want to show you guys. Still processing. All right. So let's see. What else did I put in here? All right, that was the ass blaster. So if you guys can, start sharing with me some of your best moments that you had at Bad Blood. All right. So to give us time so that way the Dead Blood game can load up, so I could talk about that as the video and all that plays. The Friday night game, there's some stuff that I would change for sure. That I've already given the feedback to the person that run the night game. We should have made it to where that the defenders can respawn inside the center. There was definitely some rules issues that weren't followed for the overall game there, which is like, you have to break the plane when it comes to shooting out the windows and all that. I mean, that's how my hand here got shot and tore up a bit, was because people weren't breaking the plane. I got full autoed in the hand at point blank range. That sucked. Didn't make too much of a stink of it at the time because it's like it really wasn't the place to do so. Went upstairs and tried to have the conversation with, Ian. Okay. Try to get all that stuff resolved. And it's just one of those things where people need to be more cognizant of playing a game to have fun and not cause problems. Like when I came through it and I knifed 30 guys in one go. That video won't play tonight. I'm actually going to upload it for tomorrow for you guys to have it. And I just went across the place just knifing people. People are like, I didn't know if you're on my team or not. Well, I mean, not for nothing, but when I'm up there, I'm always keeping my head on a swivel to make sure somebody's up there. And I always look at everybody that's on my team before we go to play a game just to make sure. I'll get to Dead Blood's out the center thing in a minute, Jay. You almost got caught, bro. Just saying. Let's see here. The initial first rush of the game, I was a solo defender at Fort War. Multiple teams were rushing it. I remember 4 of its 5 defending it pretty much cut every team to start friendly firing. That's awesome, Nick. Yeah, everyone's gunning for you at the knife run. I know it pissed off quite a few people. I mean, it's part of the experience that you have when you've taken people out like that, right? I'm a big guy. I'm easily recognizable. Some guys were really not happy that I did that, and they're like, "How the hell did you do this?" And it's like, it's not my fault. You don't have situational awareness. That's the biggest thing. Not even close, bro. Dude, I was an inch from you when I got hit. I was close. In fact, if I probably would have waited until you put your gun fully, like if you had fully turned around, I might have gotten you. Well, don't worry, Jay. We'll see that video in a minute. our last part of the game staging was to HRT. I was engaging various forces. 3 Deus Ex thought they were coming up stealthily, no clue where I was. One burst 2 took out all 3 in front of Ian. Yeah, there was quite a bit of time where people turned around and they're like, "Hey, they think they're being stealthy and hiding and everything else, and you're just sitting there like, please make your move. I can't wait to take you out." And I knew I'll give Deus Ex credit for keeping us pinned on the other side away from the pine forest, so we couldn't get the HVT. We made 3 solid pushes at Marxist, but we didn't know they were going to call time so fast, so we thought we had another 1 or 2 respawns left. Deus Ex kept us pinned inside that center, not letting us get past Pipe Yard for the longest time. By the time we finally got past Pipe Yard, it was too late. The game was over, and we were on our way to get Evic Matt. So we were there. We were close, just not quite there. There's always next year. And before you all go through saying, "Oh yeah, nobody will let you knife you again," I was like, it's happened 3 years in a row where I snuck up and done stuff like that. So the best thing I could say is just be situationally aware, look around, do everything. If it wasn't a common occurrence, I wouldn't have so many knife kills every event I go to. That was my Crytek LMG. Yeah, one of the problems that we had was where Black Shirt's respawn was. It was especially challenging because it's like, hey, we could run through and take out the HVT, but we're right by their respawn. Green also learned a lesson where I had to go down the hill and say, hey, stop shooting at us and we won't come after you. Because right now what's happening is wow. Moondog's not happy. Moondog. Sorry, bro. Hope you get home safe. The stalemate on the hillside. Yeah. So when we were coming down the hill, Green shot at Tan, Tan shot at Green, and then Tan kept shooting at Green. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Where the constant firefight over there. I finally went down to Green Respawn and said, "Look, guys, if you don't shoot at them, they're not going to shoot at you. I'm trying to move them away, but if you shoot at them, they're just going to." That's what Marxist does. We don't really have tactics as much as we have swarm it till it dies. So, all right, the Dead Blood video just came up, so I'm gonna go ahead and play it here for y'all now.
Oh shoot!
I touched you. You're a zombie.
Oh shit, that's Joe! Get the fuck out!
If you're an enemy, I'm gonna tell you what team I'm on. But if you're not gonna communicate, fuck that. We're out of here.
Not gonna be.
All right. Come on in. Oh shit! This fucking guy is so sneaky. I can't get away from him. Shit!
Two, three. Rah! Rah! Rah!
Blind man, blind man.
Try shot. Try shot. I got two of them right here. 30 seconds down. We got it.
They're pinched. Get that one guy. He's pinched. You're a zombie, dude. He touched you. Missed. Oh, no, you didn't hit me. Nothing fired. Oh, shit, move.
That son of a bitch hurt. Cause of blast. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna walk over here.
I got that on camera.
Oh, good.
That's the Ass Blaster 3000. One, two. Your buddy sacrificed you. Good shit. One, two.
Oh, shit.
One, yeah, 3 shots. I only got hit once. That's 2.
Don't let Joker throw a knife at you, please, not again.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Oh. You're gone. Got you. Before I got to you.
Fucking you. Thought you weren't playing. You fibber. Watch him. He's a zombie.
Guys, watch.
Yo, watch it, watch it.
That's not Joker.
How fast can you move?
Fast enough to dodge all of.
Don't do it. Come on. Reads the player packet. No, I thought you meant the way you worded it.
Oh, fuck. You're lucky, Jay.
Oh, I hit him 3 times halfway before he hit me.
Did he get you?
I hit him like 5 times before.
What's up? You don't have a red rag though. What's this?
Oh, you look like a person though. Yeah, I can't tell you're a
That's
zombie.
beyond me.
You're welcome for the Marxist taxes. Thanks, Dom. I know. There was so much of that went down. Like so many people are sitting there shooting. They're saying, "Oh, I got you like 3, 4, 5 times." I was like, not really. Got it. Like there were several times that I didn't take a knee because I only got shot twice. But I'm not going to shamble around. I'm just going to wait for people to become complacent and get within arm's reach like those other 2 guys did. And I'm like, pop, pop, and they go, "You're down." No, I wasn't. I was wounded. I wasn't a dead zombie yet. Yeah, I got a little close. That 3rd shot hit when my hand shot out, and then you moved your hand away. And like I said, I was inches from you. You got lucky. If I probably would have taken a couple of like little starter steps first and been a little slick, I probably would have gotten you. But yeah, my goal was to go through. So I took a lot of hits, and I'm fine with that. I don't mind this going on. A common theme. Don't trust Joker. The power of that walk. Look, during the Dead Blood game, man, people were not having it. They were like, I was walking, somebody dropped a pistol on the ground out there, and I was walking it over, and I was getting shot at. Well, yeah, I'm a big fat guy. I thought I had you, though. I mean, I was so close. So close. And there was a lot of cool moments. One thing I think that was that didn't go well was the fact that so many people said that they were told that a zombie had to touch somebody 3 times. It was only once. So with that miscommunication there was probably a lot more zombies than there should have been going through. So I have a feeling they're going to make some changes for the next game. Maybe shrinking down the size of the area a bit, because the game did go on a bit longer, I think, than they wanted to. Certainly longer than I wanted it to. Man, I was gassed by the end of it. I was doing so much running out there; it wasn't even funny, and so many people. A lot of people had fun, but then there was a lot of people that didn't have fun at the same time because they just didn't understand the way the game was. So, I want to talk about the center keep for a little bit. Oh, Jesus Christ, Jay. I'm busy, man. 4:33. Can't play it with sound. It's got music on it. I don't play with. I don't. Too many problems come with that, but even still, I mean, they shot the guy going up there. So I do want to talk about the upstairs, right? Um, Upstairs, when people went to that center keep, the problem was everybody that kept shooting down, straight down. There was a lot of people that were getting lined up to do that one big last final push to go up there, and so many people were shooting over the side. I got so mad about people getting shot that I went up the line and pulled everybody off the line. I said, "What the are you doing? Don't do that. It's against the rules of EMR for one. You're not allowed to shoot straight down because it's a safety hazard." Um, so many people were so desperate to make sure that the zombies never got up top that they tried to push everything that was there. Now, if they didn't call the game and we would have had about another 10 minutes, I guarantee you the zombies would have gotten up there. I would have taken 2 steps at a time and gotten 30 seconds up every single 30 seconds down. Yeah, Jay, they did shoot over the railings. A lot of people got shot straight down, right on top of their heads. Um, I got shot right here in my hand from it because I was going like this, and then the guy literally came down and just shot straight down. Um, if we would have had 10 more minutes of the game, I'm pretty sure you all would have been annihilated up there. That was not a safe place to hold. You only had 2 ways on, and then 30 seconds down. Yeah, I would have taken 2 steps at a time, gotten to the top within about 2 to 3 minutes, and then it would have been all out push, grabbing as many people as I can, and all of a sudden it's just a mass casualty thing. Your best bet is to do what a lot of those groups are doing, which is the constant rotation around, making sure the way ahead is clear, so you can't get trapped behind. Um, so Dead Blood again was a hell of a lot of fun. I had a blast with it, like I do every year. I'll be putting up the video of me just looking like, a looking like a pink cushion there. Sorry, I'm getting notifications and everything up to wazoo. What the hell? Cool. So, with that being said, if you guys hadn't had a chance to go to Bad Blood, try to go in next year. It's a fun event. It's a unique event. You guys can have a lot of fun roaming around and doing stuff. Getting emotional because I missed you. Jay, you're damn lucky that you went to that center keep. That's all I got to say. You ran towards the center keep. You got lucky that you got in there. Like I said, if the game went on 5 or 10 more minutes, I would have been up there. I would have been grabbing people. So I don't want to hear it. I'm bringing the Action Army with the drum mag. And there is D tier celebrities. Look, man, it's funny when it comes down to this, right? Like I have this weekly, I have the streams, I have the channels. I'm putting the video up and all that. It is really weird. I think I signed like 5 or 6 things over the course of the weekend, which is fine. I mean, it's like it's kind of cool. Somebody coming up and extendo mags have Jay. Extendo mags have nothing to do with it. It's a matter of being able to hit me before I get you, and then it's not just me; it's all the other zombies that are around you. I would have eventually gotten you. Like I said, the only thing that the zombies needed was literally 5 or 10 more minutes, and that top tier would have been overwhelmed. You guys were surrounded on all sides. You guys weren't getting out of it. You guys put yourself in, you back baby into a corner, and we weren't really told how much longer the game was going to go. So, good job today. We're going back to this. Being asked to sign something is like really cool, really awesome. I don't do this to be famous. I do this to have fun, and I try not to let. To let like this stuff really get in the way or get up to. That's why I try to shake hands with everybody, answer any questions and all that, and talk with a lot of people because it's not about getting a huge ego and everything over this. Because literally, I shoot plastic BBs at people for fun, and I love traveling around. I love meeting all you guys and doing it. So I really do call myself an F tier celebrity. We're not airsoft celebrities. We're just old players. Exactly. We're out there having fun, having a good time. If I can do something that then shows off for the rest of the world, and they enjoy it, that's awesome. Like the 2 guys I walked up behind and knifed, I let them take their shots. They shot out into green spawn, and then I tapped them both and got you. I have for the zombie. Excuse me. I have not done the numbers for how many people I got during Dead Blood, but for the main game, which was on camera, the amount of kills I got on camera was 53 knife kills on camera. That in itself is awesome. During the night game, in one setting, I got 30 knife kills and 2 shot kills. And just with one life, just going through. That was just the power of the walk, man. That innocent looking, nonchalant, I belong here. Walk. You shoot plastic people. Yes, I do. So it was a hell of a lot of fun, and we had a blast. And I really highly recommend it for everybody to come out there. Come out there, have a good time, enjoy the games. That's what most of us make these games for. Is for you guys to have fun, for you guys to enjoy the stuff that we're doing out there. To have that epic moment where you run into a building and you eliminate 10 players and then get taken out by a little kid with a Springer pistol. That's the sort of stuff that you really want to get into. Yeah, see, the problem is that's, again, wearing too much kit. I've been a huge proponent now for about 2 years of dropping off all the weight off my body as much as I possibly can and going down just to the bare necessity. And for me, that bare necessity is a battle belt, H harness, 8 mags, speed loader in the back, like my Odin in the back, 2 liters of my 50-50 mix, my gun and a knife. I don't ever bring a sidearm anymore because, frankly, the only thing I found the sidearms to do is get in the way, cause more weight. I hardly ever transition around because I'm usually within space, within range of my rifle, and I can pie corners again just as quick. I was just happy as able to use my Crab Sema shotgun that I've had for 5 years and never used. Exactly, it's stuff like that. That's what I love about this particular game. So, with that being said, I'm going to shift focus here, and we're going to talk a little bit about Geigerlands, like I promised. All right, Geigerlands is the event that's going to be happening at Big House Milsom. at the Haunted Crescent Sanatorium. All right, which is located in Crescent, Pennsylvania. It's a really awesome AO. And what exactly is Geigerlands? Well, it is a post-apocalyptic wasteland style event. Yep, I had my leg harness on and was just walking with my sidearm. I knew I wouldn't use it, just make it hotter. Exactly. So Geigerlands, the best way to equate it to is that it's, I hate saying this on camera because we don't want to incur anything. It's like a Fallout themed game. There's limited ammo, limited resources. It's a free for all game. So you can make little groups and factions and all that, but on the whole, there really are no teams. Your goal is to survive the Rad Storm, which is coming at the end of the game day. Now, the game technically begins on a Friday at 2:00 when the last 1 AEG, 5 mags, minimalist chest rig, hydro pack, bladder with 80 ounces, dead rag, half a bag of BBs, UPSA belt with mag pouches, my GBB in a holster, and that's all I had. Yep. I hope not. I hope it's cooler out. So for Geigerlands, this is where you bring like your Fallout, like your Fallout, your Wasteland, Division, anything that's post-apocalyptic, Mad Max, you name it. You just bring that out there where that kit. You're gonna need iPro. But Friday, when the gates open, gates open at 1:00. First safety brief ends at 2. At that point, people can then go out onto the field and start picking out the places where they're gonna set up camp. You can camp out on the AO, inside the cell blocks. Certain buildings will be available. You guys go camp out and engage. You can only, for Friday night, you can only bring out boffer weapons, so there's no iPro required. But Saturday at 8:30 is when you start massing up front with your airsoft rifles to bring the guns onto the field. So Saturday morning at 8:30, you can bring 3 mid caps or 1 high cap mag full of BBs, which will be checking all your mags when you come in the door. Obviously, your guns will already be chronoed and all that. You then walk out and you start to engage the waste. There's going to be quests for you guys to do to earn stuff that you need to fuel your reactors for your vaults to survive the Rad Storm that's coming at 6:00. The cool thing about this is that you get to build a character with a bunch of different perks. Some of them give you more wounds. Some of you give them ability to use certain objects like medics and stuff like that. There's a lot more interaction that happens here. You'll be giving caps as a form of currency that you can purchase stuff like ammo with. So as you're going around there doing that, last 30 minutes of the game, there's going to be a big horn that goes off. The Rad Storm's coming. And because of that, people are going to start going crazy. So since the vaults can only hold a certain amount of people, like for instance, if there's 500 people, there's only going to be 50 vault spots available. There's only 50 vault spots available. There'll be a lot of fighting over who gets to be inside that vault. At that point, all the NPCs start to get, we start getting like rad fever and start going crazy and start shooting people. Same thing with all the asylum guys are just going to go nuts, and it's going to be a systematic removing of everybody from the field. And now the cool thing about this is, well, I think it's cool at least. When that horn goes, whatever lives you have left, that's it. You can't respawn. So if you have been medic twice already, you might only have 1 more life left. So it brings on that thing. So 6:00, the Rad Storm comes through. Anybody not in the shelter is dead. Game ends. All airsoft guns come off the field. Hopefully that takes less than 30 minutes. Then you guys can take your iPro off and then go back onto the field. You go back onto the field. There's going to be the things are going to go up, and one of the things that are going to be on there is obviously the Sunshine Band, Merchant Caravan. They're going to have one building. The Asylum's going to have another building, and then you have the neutral faction, which is Virchew's faction, is going to have a in-game casino. they'll be having live music and stuff like that inside there. What's up, Chris? About time you joined me from over here. So that's going to be a fun, awesome event. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. If you guys miss it, you're really going to be missing out on something great. So, yeah, I would definitely check it out. All right. So, with that being said, I'm getting you guys the link to the promo code and everything else. We got a promo code for it. The game right now is $110. We decided to keep the price that way, mostly because of what happened before and all that. So there's also a discount here, which I'm going to throw up onto the screen. There we go. There's the promo code. Yes, the event page for that is obhmilsom.com. Chris? Ooh, nice. BOGO beef jerky. Is it Bucky's beef jerky? Chris, we also have a Facebook page that you could join for that, which is here. That's the page, and this is the group. And here's the group for that. And we also have some other groups too for like the Guy in particular. So this particular event is going to be a whole lot of interaction and stuff that happens. You have to earn the caps. You can do it from all sorts of different ways. You can be a merchant trading some stuff. You could be a mercenary. You could be you could be a bodyguard. You could be a raider and shoot people. So there's all sorts of cool stuff that you guys can do for this particular event. And it's at an AO that's really epic. And the fact that you just camp out on the AO inside of some of those cell blocks of the prison is absolutely fantastic. We're going to be talking more about this on Thursday. So our Thursday stream at 8 o'clock, we're going to be talking about Gargantland some more. We're going to be talking about Scorched Earth and what to expect out of the games to have fun with. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. There's a lot of stuff I got to get done around here. I actually spent an extra day on the road because of the AC failing in my navigator in, say, North Carolina. So it was hot as hell and everything else. So let's see here. All right. So with that being said, we are good to go. We will talk more about some events in the future. If you guys have any questions, of course, feel free to ask. I'll be dropping videos probably. I'm going to schedule videos to be dropped every day at 9 a.m. for the next week for different stuff that we did at Bad Blood, so you can see yourself. Again, it was a great event. I had a blast. There's very few things that we need to change that I feel that needs to be changed for the event for the future. Hopefully people learn the lesson and start hydrating before the event and all that, so we don't have those issues. And I want to thank everybody that came out, supported. The Battle Bus Adventures got a huge amount of support. Hefe Airsoft, one of our newest sponsors, gave us a Tokyo Marui AK to raffle off. Through that raffle, we raised $830, but it didn't stop there. After the game, a guy actually came up and said, "Here, I have this M249 that I won. I want you to have it. Give it to your son. Do it or raffle it off." So we now have the M249. We're trying to figure out if we are going to raffle it off or not, because as you guys can see, we have a bunch of LMGs that Damien can use for his, for his action track here. So we don't really need it, but we'll see what's going to go on. So until next time. So thank you, Hefe Airsoft, for that. So check out hefeairsoft.com. He's got a lot of great stuff on there. He's got a lot of patch of the week and all that. That patch subscription club looks actually pretty awesome. So until next time, may your BBs fly true and your opponents always call your hits.